I hope we are live. So hello everyone. So today we are here to talk about coding contests through our programming journeys on like how to start off with competitive programming, what it takes to become a competitive programmer, and like some of the unheard benefits of competitive programming and all that stuff, like all the interesting stuff about competitive programming. So today we are here to talk about that. And to ask, but like feel free to ask any questions related to competitive programming on the chat window on the YouTube live. So here I am. I would like to invite my college friend Rahul Dugar. So he has been a highly passionate competitive programmer throughout. Like even during my college days, I used to bug Rahul Dugar for solving like trivial problems of competitive programming, like trivial to me, but like trivial for Rahul Dugar. So yeah, we used to like give like lots of programming contests together, and like we used to prepare for various group coding contests together, like ICPC. And like I remember like we used to give contests like of length more than sometimes 3 hours or 5 hours, and like we used to give them on stretch and like discuss various problems after the contest is done. So yeah, it's lovely to welcome Rahul Dugar to the call, like because like he's one of very close friends of mine. So hi Rahul, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Rahul Dugar. I'm a graduate in computer science from IIT Roorkee. I'm highly active on various online judges. Like you might know me as amnesic_dusk on Codeforces, and I'm present as Rahul Dugar on most other coding platforms. I'll be going to ICPC World Finals to be held in Moscow the upcoming year.
Yes, so great to hear. So yeah, Rahul Dugar will be going to ICPC World Finals like 2020, but will be held in 2021 because of COVID scenarios. And his team was like the best from our institute, and like I remember like two of our teams. Correct me if I'm wrong. Two of our teams like were about to qualify for the World Finals, but like Dugar's team was better amongst the two in the Asia West Continental Finals. So yeah, so just like Rahul, I am also a competitive programmer, and I have also participated on various online judges like CodeChef, Codeforces, AdCoder, and like given various programming contests like Google Kickstart, Facebook Hacker Cup, and all. And so I was like throughout my college life, I was like passionate about competitive programming, and like I used to solve a lot of questions on competitive programming. So I also am a problem setter at Newton School. So Newton School gave me an opportunity to create problems for the Newton's coding contest. Like the Newton's coding contest is a contest that happens every month. So I think the link is in the description below. So like I also create problems for that coding contest. So for those who are not aware of competitive programming, so for me, competitive programming is an art of solving problems correctly and efficiently in a given amount of time. So the problems have to be solved correctly, like all the test cases should pass. Like you are given a problem, you have to solve it, you have to pass all the test cases, and then the solution should be efficient enough to pass in the given amount of time. So for building the culture of competitive programming, there are like various platforms. So there are some platforms like CodeChef. There are platforms. There's a platform called Codeforces. There's platform AdCoder. Even Newton School conducts coding contests and like have material related to programming on like Newton School's website. So since I am from competitive programming background, I firmly remember like how it feels to get a single AC. AC is basically accepted on like a problem of competitive programming, and like how it feels when you perform good in a competitive programming contest. So given how I feel about competitive programming, I would like to know from Rahul how it feels to be one of the greatest competitive programmers ever in our country. So just to give you the reference, Rahul has achieved the highest rating ever on Codeforces. So basically from India. So from India, Rahul Dugar has achieved the maximum rating ever on the competitive programming platform Codeforces. He's also a 7-star coder on CodeChef. So basically on CodeChef, there are stars given to the competitive programmers. So there is 1 to 7-star, and 7-star coders are the best. They are red in color. So Rahul Dugar is one of the very few Indian programmers who are red on Codeforces. And like, he has always been a consistent programmer throughout, and he has performed like exceedingly well in programming contests like Facebook Hacker Cup, Google Kickstart, and all. How does it feel, Rahul Dugar, to be at such a great position in competitive programming?
Yeah. So like when I started my competitive programming journey, I didn't think that I would be able to achieve such achievements. Like I always felt that just achieving red rating on Codeforces would be a pretty great task, and so when I first achieved the best ratings in the country, like I was exceedingly happy. But like I felt that like me achieving the best ratings was just a fluke, and I would soon fall out of the top places. I wasn't consistent at that time, and uh, so so I used to spend a lot of time in solving contests and practicing. And solving more and more of practice problems. In this way, thus over time, I became more confident, and thus I became like stable, India's number one for quite some time. Uh, at that time, I used to receive lots of messages like, "How should I practice?" At the time, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was one of those who gave constant messages to Dugar about like solving trivial concepts for him. So like, even like if you are aware of some programming concepts, like there are segment trees, there are like linked lists, and like, so there are like various problems. So these are like some of the concepts that I used to solve problems on. And but like for Rahul Dugar, even the concepts like Stern book tree or the linked trees were very, very trivial. So yeah. So moving on, like I remember, like yeah, as Rahul said, like I remember him like working very, very hard throughout his competitive programming journey. Like even if he was not able to solve a single problem in a particular Codeforces round, Rahul Dugar like used to spend a lot of time solving that single question so that he does not commit the same mistake again, or like he's able to solve the same problems on similar lines in the next coding contest. So uh, so as I remember looking back, I remember a lot of programming contests that I have given on, and like the sleepless nights. Like I used to spend like various nights without sleep and thinking about a particular solution to a particular problem. So I also remember like how horribly I performed. Like in the beginning, when I started off, I performed like really poorly on like all the judges. Like some people may relate to it, maybe. Like in the beginning, like I performed like very poor. And like I remember like the Codeforces rating used to start from 1500, and like I remember my rating falling consistently for a few contests. So, but then like I got to know that it's about consistency. So if you are consistent throughout the journey, so you get to learn a lot of concepts. You get to learn from a lot of a lot of coders, like in your college or in your peer circle, or you can even ask from other coders. Like even if you ping Rahul Dugar, he'll be happy to solve the problem that you ask him. So but like yeah, as I said, like I used to my rating initially fell drastically, and then like it increased to like becoming orange on Codeforces and CodeChef. So like I, but like one thing I remember was like in 2018, there is a contest called Facebook Hacker Cup, in which like there are t-shirts. At that point of time, there were t-shirts given to top 500 students, and I was like the only one from my college to get that particular t-shirt. So yeah, that was a very happy moment for me, and like out of nowhere I was able to get the t-shirt. So yeah. So as I recall my journey further, there's one question, Rahul Dugar, for you. How do you approach problems in less time? Do you want to tell something about it? How do you approach problems in less time? Like
Yeah, so yeah, so mostly it's due to practice, like like as you become able to solve harder problems, you will be able to solve easier problems in less amount of time. Yeah, so it's mostly due to practice. Like by practicing, topics become more and more standard to you. So the solutions directly come to the mind, like if you like after practicing.
Yeah. So like there are like various platforms for it. Like I would say like you can go on to platforms like A2OJ where there are ladders for beginning programmers. So there are ladders for Code Forces A type, Code Forces B, and Div 2. So you can go to that particular ladder and you can start solving problems of a similar difficulty line. So as you become proficient in solving the problems in from ladder A, for me, like I tried to solve some of the problems in ladder A, then ladder B. So as I moved from ladder A to ladder B, I realized that the problems in ladder A were quite simpler as compared to that of ladder B. But like it made the time may differ. Like it may take a lot of time of yours to solve harder problems in less amount of time. But like if you practice consistently, I believe like you'll be able to solve problems in lesser amount of time. I hope that answers the problem. So, as I was recalling my journey of competitive programming, I would also like to know like the journey of competitive programming of Rahul Dugar. So, like I am sure like it must be great on how you started off and like how it went throughout.
Yeah, so like I did not have like prior experience of programming before joining my college. Uh, I was introduced to programming and competitive programming in general in a course in our college course, like Intro to Object-Oriented Programming by Professor Bala from our CS department, who also later became our ICPC coach. Uh, like my first contest was August lunchtime 2017 on CodeChef, in which I solved absolutely zero problems. So yeah, so at the start, everyone takes too much time to solve problems and are quite weak. Uh, Later, later I practiced, and then in the September long challenge, I was able to solve about three problems. So it was better. Uh, and like my first Codeforces contest was in October that year. At that time, I was able to. I did not know about the Codeforces contest rules, so like I just solved the problems, and I was like assured when the pretest passed. I was able to get pretest passed in three problems, but one of them got hacked, and like I was confused what exactly happened during the contest. Uh, Initially, like Codeforces contests felt like very weird, and like they were pretty short timed. So like I performed horribly on them, and uh, as compared to my CodeShare performance, my Codeforces performance was much worse. But over time, like I became more and more used to the Codeforces contests, and like I started to enjoy the thrill and the adrenaline rush that the short code programming contest at Codeforces carries. Also, like when I started competitive programming, I used to use Java. And that was the programming language that was taught in my programming course. Uh, but I would recommend against it. Like due to Java, I faced much pains because the same solutions might pass in C++, while they might fail in Java. So I shifted to C++ later. Uh, uh, Later, I joined the programming club here at IIT Roorkee, the Programming and Algorithms Club (PAG), conducted recruitment in the second semester, and then I then I was able to join it, and I was very excited when I joined it. In PAG, uh, we hold weekly ICPC style contests in which teams participated together, and we used to discuss solutions after contests, which was very helpful for the rapid rise in my skill. In PAG, we were uh, united by CP, but like we found bonds for life. Like the friendships and bonds that were made in PAG would stay throughout my life. Like this, I became like this, by practicing, I became better and my skills improved. And eventually, I was able to perform nice in many contests. Like I won a decent prize money in multiple contests. For example, like 5 lakh rupees in Johnson and Johnson contests, and 2 MacBooks. And such like over time, I became much better. Yeah, so that's mostly my programming journey.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I also remember like Rahul Dugar winning like in every contest now and then, and like bringing a lot of cash prize and giving us treats. We call them like Chapo in IIT Roorkee. So Dugar was the one who gave the maximum number of Chapos because of the number of programming contests he used to win in college. And like uh, not just that, like Rahul Dugar has like performed consistently throughout his journey, and like in other programming formats like in Kickstart, or like even in programming contests where you just need to find the optimal solution. You can Rahul Dugar was the one who performed like exceedingly well in the contest throughout. So one thing I want to reiterate was like Codeforces is the platform like which gives you a lot of adrenaline rush, because like the contests are very short format, and like the things that the number of concepts that are covered in Codeforces contests are like very high in number, but like they are lesser in number as compared to long challenges, but like they are the contain like a lot of information. So I'll suggest like Codeforces contest to everyone, and like there are like various other things, like if you after you solve the problem, you can even look at other people's solution, and like as Dugar said, you can hack the problem people's solution like by giving a test case in which the solution can fail. So it like the things are like really nice there. Moreover, Rahul Dugar like has won even in Newton School Coding Challenge a lot of times. So yeah, as he mentioned, like I was also a member of programming and algorithms group at IIT Roorkee, and like I also give like a lot of credit of my competitive programming success to that particular group, because like it inculcated a sense of belong. Like I was having a sense of belonging for that group, and like I wanted to perform because like other people were doing well in that particular group. So I would suggest everyone to form like groups of students. Like you can form a group of your friends and like try to solve problem by forming groups, so that like you can learn from each other, you can look at the solutions of each other, and like you can also relate to what mistakes others make, so that you don't make the same mistakes again. So one more thing I want to point out, like after joining the college, honestly speaking, like after most of us, like after their 12th class and all, like we just stopped working sincerely. So the reason being, like we have worked hard for throughout, like from first to 12th, and like Indian education is so competitive. After that, you prepare for JEE and like other medical examinations and all. So like I became like a very less sincere after joining college. So competitive programming like was kind of blessing for me. So since like the problems, like since we were required to solve the problems in a short span of time, like it was kind of like it was a strict schedule. Like the contest was from a particular time to a particular time. I started developing sincerity in me, and like I am like very sure like I gave my 100% throughout the coding contest. Uh, so the feeling after the coding contest, like during the coding contest and after the coding contest, is like you just feel like very happy after solving a particular problem, because like you see the number of solutions, like you know that everyone from the community is participating in that coding contest, and like you are one of those who solved that particular problem. So in the given amount of time, if you are able to solve that problem, like you feel very happy. But even if you are not able to solve a problem during the contest, I would like suggest you to solve at least one or two more problems than the amount of problems you can solve. Try to upsolve problems. As Dugar also said, like during his preparation, he used to upsolve problems. So like I would also suggest you to upsolve the problems. Upsolving is basically the thing that you try to solve the problems post contest. So I would also suggest you do that for upsolving the problems. So competitive programming has basically benefited me throughout my life. So it has built honesty first, it has built sincerity, and like it has built a general tendency of problem solving in my life. So other than that, like than that, like competitive programming has its own perks, because of competitive programming, I've got like various offers for internships and like job offers, like even from the previous company, Microsoft, where I worked earlier. I got an offer due to the programming skills I have acquired during my competitive programming journey. So just like me, I'm sure that competitive programming must have benefited you as well, Dugar. So would you like to enlighten us like on how competitive programming has benefited you throughout your journey?
Yeah, so competitive programming helped develop many skills like discipline, hard work, and like spotting edge cases in the code. In competitive programming, you need to spot edge cases in the code, and it's not like, especially in Codeforces contests, you cannot be sure, even if the pretests are passed, that your code is correct. So you need to be really careful while you write the code so that it is correct. So that skill really helps in like actual programming. Also, like competitive programming also helped develop my rapid prototyping skills. Like in competitive programming, we write some piece of code pretty fast. So for prototyping, that skill can be quite useful. Also, apart from helping me develop these skills, competitive programming helped me in some unconventional ways too. Like I came to know many friends, which like later became my friends initially through competitive programming. I built many connections through competitive programming, like which helped me a lot. Also, I did not have to do any kind of coding practice to prepare for internships or placements, campus placements or internship rounds. So yeah, so competitive programming was pretty helpful for me.
Yeah, just to let you know, Rahul Dugar had like 4 or 5 offers on the day zero itself. So yeah, all the big giant companies that hire from various colleges have hired Dugar directly, like not directly, maybe through interviews, but like competitive programming has been like, I'm sure, very much beneficial for cracking those interviews as well. So one thing like we did not cover till like, how is it about like, I'd like to ask you like, what do you feel about like group coding contests? Like the ICPC group coding contest. Like ICPC is basically, for those who are not sure, like ICPC is a coding contest. Like it is inter-college kind of coding contest. So it is held in various stages. First, like there is an online qualifier for it, and then like the selected teams get shortlisted for the regionals, and like from the regionals, some of the shortlisted teams get selected for directly for the world finals, and some of them are selected for like continental type of regionals, like intercontinent or like subcontinent kind of regionals. Like last year it was Asia West Continental. So so there are so ICPC is basically a group programming contest in which like you participate in a team of 3, and like you have to solve problems in a group of 3. And so I would like to ask Dugar like how his journey was for group coding contests, and like how he feels about group coding contests.
Yeah, so group coding contests carry a pretty different feel from individual coding contests. Uh, like you have to divide the computer time between the teammates. You have to build harmony between the teammates, and uh, overall, like group coding contests are pretty different in that way. Uh, yeah, so group coding contests also like teach us to work together, and uh, like peer programming and such kind of skills. Also working together in a team, improving our communication skills. Like these kinds of things are improved by group coding contests. And also they have built many memories which I would carry for my life, like these group coding contests. So yeah, so group coding contests as overall are a pretty memorable and enjoyable experience, and they teach us many useful lessons. Yeah.
Yeah, I also remember like a few incidents of group coding contests, and like I clearly remember how we used to solve the problems in that timed scenario in a team, how we used to distribute the problems. Like in 2017, it was the first time when our team got selected for ICPC regionals. So our team consisted of there were like two other members like Ria Parekh and Karan Bedi, who were a part of my team. And like I clearly remember how we used to solve that problems during that contest, and like how we screwed up the contest and all that stuff also. And like in 2018, I had like I had like other team members, like they were Aniket and Piyush Setia. So during that span of time, like it was a rapid learning for me. Like I never thought like I could learn at that fast pace. Like ICPC gave me a opportunity to learn at a very fast pace, because like as Dugar also mentioned, like there are like peer programming benefits that are there associated with group programming contests. So like they really helped me a lot. I also remember one incident like last year in 2019. It was last to last year. I just forgot. COVID year. It was last year. So so yeah, last to last year when we were like in my team, there were like Adarsh Kumar and Mayank Gautam were there in my coding team, and like we had solved 7 out of 8 problems already in the ICPC online qualifier round, and the eighth problem left was left. And like we were sure that one of us can not code the entire solution to the problem in one go. So like we divided that particular problem also into 3 parts. So the people who were stronger in that particular section, they were solving that particular like part of that question. Like, but sadly, like we were not able to solve that problem because like it was a runtime error because of small array size. So yeah, but like the format is like really interesting for the group coding contest. So Vaibhav Jadhav asks what mistakes someone should avoid during the initial days of competitive programming. Rahul Dugar, would you like to take that one? What mistakes someone should avoid during the initial days?
Yeah, so one thing which happens is like many people start solving only easy problems. Like I've seen some people like they while they can solve Dev to A or Dev to B on Codeforces pretty fast, but they only keep on solving those problems. So during the initial days of CP, you should keep this in mind that for improving, you need to solve problems which are just harder than your level. So, so do not get stuck upon that. Also, another thing is that sometimes some people get stuck over some problem for multiple days. Like it might be good for long challenge, but in regular practice, I believe that getting stuck on a problem for multiple days or such is not very beneficial. Like even if you even if you do not see the editorial, start trying other problems also in the meantime. Yeah.
Yeah, so like pretty much Rahul covered everything, but like one thing I want to also add upon it is like don't get disheartened by coding contests. Like one thing is like whenever I used to perform good in the coding contest, I thought like it was just chance that I performed good in this coding contest, and in the next coding contest my rating will definitely fall. And like sometimes it did fall after that coding contest. Like initially its rating graph is like this, and then it sometimes falls like this, or like initially also it is like only going down. But like one thing I want to say, that don't get disheartened. Like competitive programming is not a skill that you learn in a single day. It takes like considerate amount of your time. Just keep doing it. Like I'm sure that you will achieve like various good things in the coming days if you keep doing that. So Ravi Rajput asks procedure to solve code when you see the question first. uh, So I'm not sure what that question is, but like I would like to take that one. So when I see the question first, so the thing is like, as like everyone, I just see the question text and like try to understand what the question is trying to convey. But then sometimes like the question gets like tricky to understand also sometimes. So I just look at the test cases and the explanation to the test cases in that case so that I understand the problem better. And then like I think about the corner cases directly. Like sometimes like I think about the solution, but as I'm thinking about the solution, I also think about the corner cases at that point of time also, so that when I'm into writing the code, that time I don't commit the errors that I already know I can commit. So just I want to reiterate that firstly, you should always think about the corner cases, because like in competitive programming, I'm sure if you miss the corner case, your solution won't pass. Even if you miss just one corner case, your solution won't pass. So just think about the corner cases also when you are solving a problem. That also has good effects in future terms, like during when you are giving the interviews for companies also ask you the similar kind of programming questions. And if you tell them that you are thinking in this direction and you are thinking of the corner cases as well, it gives you an advantage that the person thinks of the cases when solving the problem. So that gives you a advantage during that time also. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah,
One thing. Yeah, Dugar, you
yeah.
want to
One
add
thing
something?
I would also like to add, uh, always like think out the solution in your mind first before starting coding. Like some people jump to code after just seeing or solving the question, but it would be better to think out what exactly you would code. Sometimes the code simplifies, and just by thinking for 1 minute, the code that would have taken 10 minutes would take only 5 minutes. So yeah, that is an important thing. First, think out the solution and then start coding it. Yeah.
By the way, just to let you know, Rahul Dugar solves the first question in less than 1 minute. So you can like less than 1 minute or 2 minutes maybe. So you can understand how he thinks and how he codes and all that stuff. So yeah, Rahul Dugar, one thing I want to call out, like you have won a lot of Newton's coding challenges. Like you have won it, I guess, like 8 or 9 times, and you have also like in the contest that you have not won, you were like most likely the runner up in that coding contest because. And so, what are the most challenging and rewarding parts you think about the Newton's coding contest?
Yeah. So generally the problems at the Newton School's coding contests are pretty interesting. Also, they are not very easy. Unlike like normal such contests, the problems are very easy. But Newton School's contests problems are pretty challenging and good. Uh, like they touch upon topics like game theory, combinatorics and probability, also graph theory. These are pretty these are topics that I quite enjoy and nice. They generally are nice problems. Uh, Also, Newton School's platform is also uh, designed with CP in mind. Like many of the platforms, many such platforms do not are just and like many such platforms contain partial points, like points for only passing test cases and such. Like those things uh, do not teach you the good kind of competitive programming, or like we can say the actual problem solving skills. But Newton School's platform is of such a manner that you either have to solve the problem correctly, or you cannot. Or you cannot get any points. So that is a beneficial thing for interviews too. Like in interviews, it cannot be the case that you are writing a solution which works for some test cases but does not work for some other test cases. Like so it is quite useful. Also, like the rewards are also pretty good in the Newton Schools coding contest, but the problems are also pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, Dugar. So yeah, one thing I want to iterate is like we will be conducting a Newton's coding contest Grand Contest in July and like a regular contest in May as well. So like the link for them are in the description below. So like there are like huge rewards in the Grand Contest. So I would like love all of you to join. I would like to invite you to be a part of the Newton's Grand Contest. I hope like the problem set is pretty good there as well. So like initial problems, we try to keep them simpler, but as the the harder end of the contest comes when you have solved like 2 or 3 problems. So like, so that's it. Like, and also we keep in mind, like we have some theme for the contest. Like once we created a contest in Power Ranger SPD theme, and then once we created a contest with theme Harry Potter. So like we try to create the contest as engaging as we can. So yeah. So competitive programming has its own benefits. Like, do you think like Rahul, like competitive programming has made you better version of yourself?
Yeah, so like definitely competitive programming has influenced my development as an individual a lot too. I think thanks to competitive programming, like I got confidence and like I learned many life lessons due to competitive programming.
Yeah, that's the case. Yeah, I also learned like a lot of things during competitive programming only. Like the discipline, the amount of discipline competitive programming teaches you, I am not sure like if anything else teaches that amount of discipline. So do we have any other questions? So, yeah. So Anant Kumar asks how to increase rating. So yeah, firstly, like I would like to answer that. Like increasing, like firstly, like don't directly jump into looking at ratings. Like initially they will fall, but like as you practice harder and harder, like there will be a point of time like ratings will always bother you. Like even if you reach like Dugar level, I'm sure like Dugar also feels during the contest that if you don't get rank under 50, then his ratings will fall and all that stuff. I'm talking about div 1. So yeah, if his ranks fall below 50, then his ratings will fall. But like the same case happened with me also. Like I was like very afraid about how my ratings will change after my performance in particular contest. But then I realized like if I work hard consistently throughout, then the ratings will increase in the long run. For short run, it might decrease, but like in the long run, the ratings will increase if you consistently perform. Like if you give contests regularly, don't skip contests, even though like you are sure that your rating will fall, just give the contest. Your rating will fall, but I'm pretty sure that in the long run it will increase your rating. Duga, do you want to add anything to it?
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So like if your rating is not increasing, you might think that like if you had solved the next problem in that contest, your rating might have increased. So you can try practicing the next problems. Like if you are generally only able to solve up to div to C in a contest, then you can try practicing div to D, and once you are able to solve that problem, your rating will increase. Yeah, so
Yeah,
mostly don't focus on the short term rating and focus on the long term. Yeah, so
yeah,
filter
stock
should come
market
from that.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions? So yeah, I think that is it. So thank you, Rahul Dugar, for joining us for this live session. And I like really loved the way you answered the problems. And like, I hope like your rating graph keeps on increasing and reaches some next level heights and you become a legendary Grandmaster on Codeforces also. So all the best for your journey ahead. And like to all the budding programmers, I would just like to add a point like just give the contests. I'm pretty sure that like you learn a lot of skills through the coding contest that you take part in. Like there are not just programming, you learn like life lessons through the competitive programming contest as like we have reiterated many times. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for joining.